When they decided to go this New Year's Eve to San Francisco to see the fireworks, his mom insists that they take Bart and not go drive.
Let him go! What the fuck?
They just shot him!
Fruitvale Station is a movie based on a true story. It revolves around the shooting of an unarmed black man, an event that sparked outrage across the black community. Oscar Grant was a normal citizen who didn't deserve to be shot at point-blank range. But there is also something spiritual about this movie. Every encounter, every conversation, every argument, and every thought has a meaning. Let's take a deeper look into the hidden warnings of this film. Fruitvale Station portrays the final day of Oscar Grant III, played by Michael B. Jordan, an ex-con and a young African-American from Oakland, California. Oakland is an area that regularly deals with gun violence. The rate of violent crimes here has been steadily rising since 2005. This aligns perfectly with the time frame depicted in the movie. By establishing a link between the film and real-world problems, we are reminded of the importance of taking action. Even today, the city of Oakland has a very high crime rate and gun deaths. This is where we get the first warning. Warning number 1, you are a product of your environment. When a child is raised in a home where violence or domestic violence happens every day, that child will most likely become a product of their environment. Look at it this way. If a young girl sees her parents fighting every day, she might start to think that it's normal. They can become accepting of it. Even in their future marriages, they can get married into abuse and stay there because they never saw what a healthy relationship looks like. Boys can carry over that relationship with friends, co-workers, their wives. If violence is normalized, it continues. If you're in a situation right now where you feel like your environment is holding you back, just know that there's a better life out there for you. You have to train your mind to dream bigger than your environment. Come up with a clear plan and vision for yourself, and cut out anything that isn't aligned with it. Along the way, you may realize that the people around you don't want to change. The best thing you can do is to learn to love them from a distance and focus on bettering yourself. Lead by example and let your transformation give them inspiration for what they could be. In the film, Oscar too is used to it. He has found a way to navigate life in a city like that. He has a tight network of friends and family members. Oscar wakes up on December 31st, 2008, and senses there is something off. He can't tell what it is, but believes it is a sign that it is time to start working on his resolutions. He wants to become a more devoted son to his mother, who celebrates her birthday on New Year's Eve. He starts by being a more honest partner to his girlfriend. From their conversation, we can see that he used to be hiding things and sleeping with another woman. And now, he wants to become a better father to the delightful 4-year-old daughter, T. Oscar starts the day with good intentions, but as time passes, he realizes that change won't be that easy. Along his journey, he encounters family, friends, and strangers, and each interaction reveals that there is far more to Oscar than initially meets the eye. He is an ex-convict, but that doesn't make him a criminal for life. He wants to get his daughter to school, pay the bills, and give his family a good life. He used to get some cash selling drugs, but he got busted for it, and another arrest would take away precious years away from seeing his daughter. So, he is done with that. He is a compassionate person who tries his best to be a good son and a better partner. But the movie belongs to Jordan, through and through. He brings an incredible level of depth to Oscar's character. He can be explosive sometimes, but that's because he's not sharing his mental burdens with anyone. He likes to keep it to himself, which is what creates a rift between him, his mother, and his partner, Sophia. Oscar is a likable person who occasionally does unlikable things. He possesses a kind heart, but one that has been irreparably damaged. At times, he can be calm, kind, and loving, and in the next moment, he can transform into the imitating drug dealer on the street corner, ready to defend himself with any means necessary. We can see Oscar's contradictory nature in one of his flashbacks when his mother visits him in prison. Oscar wants a normal conversation, but when another inmate accuses him of being a snitch, he loses control. He tries to apologize to his mother and get back to a civilized conversation, but the way he just bottles up his emotions shows he wasn't ready for it. He was quickly restrained. This moment left him shattered and broken, leaving him feeling like a frightened child when he gets dragged by the police. It's an agonizing scene to watch. After getting fired from his position at the grocery store for consistently showing up late, Oscar finds himself in a hopeless situation and contemplates getting back to drug dealing, but instead, he decides to throw the marijuana he had in the ocean. There is a scene where Oscar goes to fill up his car with gas and befriends a stray pit bull. Sadly, moments later, the dog gets run over by a car. As the car speeds away, Oscar yells and then goes over to the dog to pick up the bloody body and move it away from the street. As Oscar holds the dog in his hands, the animal bleeds to death and we can hear the police sirens in the background, as if this entire piece was put here on purpose. This leads us to warning number 2. The media is full of propaganda. Think about it. There is a constant stigma that the media portrays when it comes to pit bulls. Every day, at least 2,800 pit bulls are euthanized because of their bad reputation. That's more than any other breed. Although there have been some debates about how aggressive pit bulls can be, there are no concrete measures taken that keep these animals safe. In reality, if you ever had a pit bull, you know that these are some of the most loving and happy animals to be around. That's exactly how young black men are viewed by society. A stigma around them. The media shows that most black people have a tendency to be violent. Whenever you see a black person on the news, someone got shot, killed, robbed, it's always something negative about us. Even if we do absolutely nothing wrong. There have been many cases across the country where white people have called the police on black people who were simply going about their daily lives.
Growing outrage tonight after an extreme reaction from Phoenix police to a little girl swiping a doll.
Cops in Phoenix threaten Aisha Harper, a 24-year-old pregnant woman with her 2 young children by her side.
This morning, a California woman is facing outrage online after a now viral video shows her allegedly calling police on an 8-year-old black girl selling bottles of water with her mother on a sidewalk.
Black people getting harassed by white folks is such a common problem that has had numerous consequences, often escalating into huge conflicts. The media will always try to paint us out as criminals, but don't let that change the fact that we are becoming entrepreneurs, owning land, breaking generational curses, getting our education, properly raising our children. That's exactly why we made this channel, to tell our own stories and history. Like and subscribe to join the movement. As for Oscar, by focusing on his personal path to redemption, we also overlook the bigger picture, another message that the movie is trying to convey. All of these aspects make Oscar's story all the more heart-wrenching and relatable. That's because viewers empathize with him and root for his success. However, the real injustice in Oscar's story is not that he never got the chance to live the life he always wanted, but the fact that we are living in a society that's deeply rooted in systemic racism. A society in which an event like this can happen to anyone, regardless of who you are or where you come from. By focusing on the tragedy of this isolated event, we lose sight of the broader picture, a system that's built upon one tragedy and another and another. The criminalization and demonization of unarmed black men is well defined over and over again. It is easy for the system to dismiss the lives of black men and give them a negative or criminal connotation with the use of insults or invalidations. We can see this throughout the entire film when black people are called thugs. These stereotypes have been around for hundreds of years and are designed to oppress us. In one particular scene, Oscar drives past a police car, and the shot is prolonged. A close-up captures Oscar's reaction as he gazes at the car until it passes by. This shot is meant to convey his feelings and perspectives towards law enforcement. It doesn't show Oscar cursing or getting angry, but rather reveals his wariness. This means that Oscar sees the police as a threat because he is black. Oscar's conscious behavior is felt by many. Instead of seeing the police as a safety net, many black people seek to avoid them, to prevent becoming a target. Through the use of music and sound, the movie is able to create a unique atmosphere and depict various moods. After the family reunion, Sophia and Oscar leave the house and talk about whether they should continue to party. Here, we see that the setting in the streets is very dark. This is the complete opposite of what it's supposed to be like on New Year's Eve. There is a lack of bright and colorful lights, and even the music is eerie. This is a clear sign that something is about to happen, which also symbolizes the last bit of light, Oscar's life. You can feel the tension and suspense as the family drives across the street and other people are lighting up fireworks. Sophia and Oscar plan a gathering with their friends to go to the BART train and see the fireworks there for the New Year's festivities. When they drop their daughter at a sleepover, we get the third warning. Warning number 3, trust your intuition. Tatiana tells her dad that she is scared, and when Oscar asks, scared of what? She replies,
I hear guns outside.
This is another foreshadowing of Oscar's death. While Oscar may believe that these are fireworks, the child can feel that there is something wrong, something off in the air that is going to put their parents' lives in danger. During the train ride back, Katie, a customer from Grant's previous workplace at the grocery store, spots him and calls him by name. Another ex-prisoner, whom Grant encountered from his time in prison, also recognizes him and starts a fight, causing a commotion that attracts the attention of the BART police. Amidst the turmoil, Sophia and Oscar get separated. Grant's girlfriend later calls, concerned about his whereabouts, but he reassures her that he is okay. After the fight at the train breaks out, we can see the stark contrast between how the people on the train perceive Oscar and how the BART police officers see him. Right from the start, the officers are lining all the black men. There's not a single white culprit in sight. Even though they were the ones who initiated the fight, the officers are impatient and aggressive. It is clear that they are selecting all the people based on racial bias. This obviously depicts how the officers are thinking. They stick to the stereotype of arresting the violent or criminal black man, presuming that Oscar is the one and the rest of the black people on board that train are his friends. After Oscar got removed from the train, there is a medium close-up of him holding his hands up. This shot of Oscar was intentional. It demonstrates his desire to avoid conflict and clearly shows that he is unarmed. In other words, he was vulnerable, and there was no need for the police to consider him a threat. This shot highlights the impact of police brutality and increases our awareness of prejudice and what the system can do to people of color. Jordan's amazing performance carries all the way to the finale of the film. He can perfectly portray a million emotions that go through Oscar's head as he is cornered by the police. The moment these forceful officers show up, he knew that his fate was sealed. This keen attention to detail is what brought Oscar's character to life. Jordan's work here is without a doubt impeccable. The dialogue, the hand movement, eyes, the breathing. It is the kind of performance that gives every moment a unique personality. And at this moment, Oscar was facing his fears. Everything he had been taught led him to this moment. This fear and doubt about the police, his eagerness to stay away from them and prevent a conflict, his desire to protect his friends and ensure his family that everything is going to be alright. Here, he kept thinking about his daughter. He let the officers know he wanted to get back to his daughter. That right there is his sole focus, but it wasn't enough. Grant is shot by the police and is rushed back to the hospital. Countless bystanders capture the footage, and it all goes viral. Here we see another moment. After the shooting, Oscar's mom gets a call in the middle of the night. She's sleeping in a dark room with the curtains blocking the outdoor lights. This very little light in the room is a sign of the dreadfulness and hopelessness that is about to transpire. There is no light because this is a sign that darkness has already engulfed this family. After the surgery, Oscar is in a dark room, and the scene cuts to one of Oscar's brightest memories, where he is spending time with his daughter. He's carrying her on his back, and the sun is shining brighter. These are the happiest moments of his life, and even if he didn't have all the money or things he wanted, he was still happy. In this scene, his daughter is laughing, but there is no sound of her voice. This means he is never going to hear her voice again. This memory is starting to appear more distant, unreachable. In the final scene of the movie, a powerful emotional impact is created through the absence of sound. This is the scene where Tatiana and Sophia are in the shower together. After Tatiana asks, "Where's Daddy?" the two don't exchange any words. This silence speaks volumes. It is at this second that we see heartbreak, loss, and the feeling of being adrift, all of which have a lasting impact on the little girl's life. But maybe it's not just fate. Fatalism is a prevailing theme in Fruitvale Station, but the bigger question is whether Oscar could truly change. Would he have really left his cheating and drug-dealing days behind? It's never easy to leave the past and transform ourselves to the core. Could he throw everything out the window, everything he knew, everything he was used to in just 30 days? After I watched the movie, I started to wonder whether Oscar from 2008 would be the same person today. If he had the chance to live, how could he have shaped his future? This is probably the saddest part. This tragedy is heartbreaking on multiple fronts. Not only did it end Oscar's future, but it also shattered the hopes and dreams of his family. Oscar Grant's tragic story is just one example of many lives lost due to racial profiling and police brutality. It also serves as an important reminder to never take life for granted. Everything can all be gone in a blink of an eye. If you enjoyed this video, then you would love our breakdown on the movie Get Out. Click on it now to watch. We'll see you over there.